They built the fire too big. Jonah noticed it right away, the way the flames clawed upward, spitting sparks into the branches above, like it was trying to be seen from far away. They sat in a loose circle, faces flickering in orange and black, beer cans sweating into the dirt. Beyond the firelight, the forest pressed close, patient and listening. "Last story," Maya said, stretching her legs toward the heat. "Then I'm done. I'm not sleeping out here with creepy-ass folklore in my head." "Coward," Eli said, grinning. "Jonah hasn't told one yet." A chorus of agreement followed. Jonah sighed. "Mine's stupid." "That's never stopped you before," Claire said. Jonah stared into the fire for a second too long. Then he leaned forward. "Okay, so there's this thing people around here used to talk about, the hatchet man." Immediate groans. "Oh, come on," Sam said. "Serial killer with an axe, groundbreaking." "Just listen," Jonah said. He told them about the hatchet man, how he appeared when people told stories about him for fun, how belief gave him shape, how he carried an old axe, rusted and heavy, how he hunted groups, not individuals, and how once he started, he didn't stop until no one was left to remember him. "The rule," Jonah said quietly, "is you don't leave the firelight, and you don't stop telling the story." There was a pause. Then laughter, loud, relieved mocking. "That's it," Maya said. "That's the big scary ending." Jonah forced a smile. "That's all I heard growing up." Eli raised his beer. "To dumb campfire bullshit." They drank. The fire popped sharp and loud. From somewhere in the trees came the sound of metal striking wood. Thunk. Every head snapped up. "That's nothing," Sam said too fast. "Someone else camping." Thunk. Closer. A dragging sound followed, slow and deliberate. "Okay," Maya said, standing. "Who's messing with us?" No one answered. The fire shifted, light dipping for a second as a log rolled inward. Shadows stretched long and wrong between the trees. Something moved at the edge of the clearing. A shape stepped forward. Boots thick, mud-stained. Then the axe, wide-bladed, rusted, nicked like it had bitten bone before. Finally, the man himself emerged, tall and hunched, face hidden beneath a brimmed hat. No one screamed at first. They just stared. Then the hatchet man lifted the axe. "Run," Jonah shouted. The axe came down, not at them but into the fire. Sparks exploded outward as embers scattered across the ground. The circle of light shattered. And the woods rushed in. They ran. Branches whipped at their faces. Roots clawed at their ankles. The forest swallowed their screams, turned their footsteps into chaos. Jonah could hear Maya crying somewhere behind him, Eli swearing, Sam breathing like his lungs were tearing apart. Behind them. Thunk, thunk. The axe struck trees as the hatchet man moved, clearing his path with slow, brutal certainty. "He's not fast," Claire screamed. "He's not fast." But he didn't need to be. Sam tripped. Jonah spun just in time to see Sam slam into the dirt, hands scrambling uselessly. The hatchet man stepped out of the darkness behind him, axe already rising. "No, wait," Sam screamed. The axe fell. The sound it made was wet and final. The axe was violently pulled out of Sam's chest. Blood spewed all over and the hatchet man continued his move. Jonah ran until his chest burned and his vision tunneled. He burst into a small clearing where the trees thinned, moonlight spilling down like cold water. They stopped, gasping, shaking, staring back into the woods. "We can't outrun him," Maya sobbed. "We can't, he'll keep coming." Jonah's hands trembled. "The story," he said. "We have to use the story." Eli looked at him like he was insane. "That thing just killed Sam." "I know," Jonah said, "but we made him real. That means the rules are real too." A branch snapped nearby. "Okay," Claire said, voice breaking. "Okay, he can't cross firelight, we need a fire." They scrambled, hands clumsy, striking matches, piling leaves and sticks. The woods felt closer now, darker, like they were being watched from every angle. The fire caught small, weak but light. The hatchet man stepped into view between the trees. He stopped at the edge of the clearing. His axe dragged along the ground, carving a shallow line in the dirt. "He hates being named," Maya said, suddenly desperate. "Say his name and he slows down." "The hatchet man," Jonah shouted. "The hatchet man can't move when we tell his story." The figure twitched. Eli added, "He only hunts groups, but if we stay together he can't choose." They talked over each other, piling on rules, weaknesses, lies shaped by terror. The fire flared brighter, fed by belief as much as fuel. The hatchet man took a step back. Then the fire sputtered. Wind rushed through the clearing, cold and sharp. The flames dipped low. The hatchet man stepped forward. "Split up," Eli yelled. "He can't hunt us." In a matter of seconds, a quick swing of an axe took Eli's head clean off, falling on the ground in front of his horrified friends. Claire screamed in terror, and the group ran away as quickly as possible. Jonah didn't look back. He ran with Claire and Maya, crashing through underbrush until they burst out near the trailhead. The parking lot was just beyond the trees. Almost safe. "Thunk!" Claire cried out as the axe buried itself into a tree inches from her head. The hatchet man stepped out behind them. Jonah grabbed a fallen branch, swung wildly. It passed straight through the man's shoulder like smoke. "Stories don't end like this," Jonah shouted, tears streaming. "They do." The hatchet man raised the axe again, and a car engine roared to life. Headlights flooded the trees. The hatchet man froze, his outline flickering like a bad reflection. Morning light crept over the horizon. The man thinned, unraveled, and vanished. The axe hit the dirt. Only Jonah and Maya stood there. Sam and Eli were dead. No one believed their story. 6 months later, Jonah stopped believing in after. After meant there was a point where things ended, where the story loosened its grip and let go. They sat in his living room because they didn't know where else to be. The television was on for the sound of voices, laughing voices, the kind that belonged to people who were safe. Night pressed its face against the windows, dark and patient. Claire stood by the back door, arms wrapped around herself. "He knows where we are," she said. Maya shook her head without looking up. "Don't say it." Claire gave a small, tired smile. That didn't help the others. The house creaked as the wind moved through it. "I need air," Claire said. Jonah stood immediately. "I'll come with you." She shook her head. "No, if I don't come back, lock the door." Before Jonah could answer, she was gone. The door closed softly. The quiet afterward felt deliberate. Jonah watched the clock. 30 seconds, a minute, 2. His chest tightened with every tick. "Claire," Maya called. "Nothing." Jonah opened the door. The porch was empty. The yard stretched out under the moon, silver and still. The trees at the edge of the property stood too close together, their branches tangled like fingers. Then Jonah saw her. Claire stood near the tree line, facing away from the house. She wasn't moving. "Claire," Jonah said, louder now. She turned. Her face was calm, too calm, as if something inside her had already decided there was no point in screaming. Behind her, the darkness shifted. The hatchet man stepped forward. He didn't rush, he never did. Claire's eyes met Jonah's for a brief, terrible second. Her mouth opened, but no sound came out. The axe rose. The sound it made when it fell was dull and final. Claire dropped to the ground and didn't move again. Jonah couldn't remember screaming, but his throat burned. Maya collapsed behind him, sobbing so hard she couldn't breathe. The hatchet man stood over the body for a moment, as if considering it. Then he pulled the axe from her neck and dragged it once through the dirt and turned back toward the trees. He did not look at the house. He did not need to. The night swallowed him. They never went outside. They didn't call anyone. There were no words left that could fix what had been done. Jonah understood it then, not all at once but slowly, like something tightening around his chest. The hatchet man didn't come because they broke a rule. He came because the story was still alive. Because someone still remembered how it went. Because someone was still listening. You are, after all. You've learned his name. You know the sound the axe makes. You know what happens when people believe. Stories don't need to be told out loud anymore. They just need a place to live. And now, he has one.